The heart of this title, the driving force behind the Pink Flamingo uprising, lies in the raw, untamed spirit of rebellion and defiance. It's a primal human instinct, a refusal to be constrained, a cry against the imposition of rules that feel arbitrary and stifling. The HOA, in its pursuit of manicured uniformity, had unwittingly poked a sleeping giant, the collective desire for self-expression that resides within every individual. This wasn't merely a disagreement over garden gnomes or wind chimes. It was a clash of philosophies, a battle between the sterile order of regulation and the vibrant, chaotic beauty of personal liberty. The residents, perhaps initially resigned to the edicts handed down from the Architectural Review Committee, found a spark ignited within them. It was the moment they realized that compliance wasn't the only option, that a united front could challenge the very foundations of the HOA's authority. The ban, intended to enforce a rigid aesthetic, instead became a catalyst for a collective act of civil disobedience, a visual declaration that the spirit of individuality couldn't be extinguished by bureaucratic decrees. It was a rebellion born not of malice, but of a deep-seated need to reclaim a sense of ownership over their own spaces, to infuse their lawns with a touch of whimsy and personality. Each flamingo planted was a defiant flag, a symbol of resistance against the encroaching tide of homogenization. This wasn't simply about lawn decorations. It was about the fundamental right to shape one's own environment, to express one's identity in the very place one calls home. The rules, rather than fostering harmony, had become a source of resentment, a constant reminder of the limitations imposed upon them. The residents, in their collective act of defiance, were not just challenging a rule, they were challenging the very notion that their lives could be dictated by an unelected body. The rebellion was a testament to the enduring power of the individual spirit, a reminder that even in the most meticulously planned communities, the human desire for freedom will always find a way to bloom. The title's second point, Unity and Solidarity, paints a picture of a neighborhood bound together by a shared sense of injustice. It's a rare and powerful thing to witness a community coalesce around a common cause, to see neighbors who might have previously exchanged only polite nods suddenly united in a shared purpose. The act of planting pink flamingos wasn't just an individual expression, it was a collective statement, a visual representation of the power of community. It spoke to the enduring human need for belonging, for connection, for the shared experience of standing together against a perceived wrong. The residents, in their shared act of defiance, discovered a bond they might never have otherwise found. They organized, they coordinated, they became a force to be reckoned with. The act of placing the flamingos was not a singular event. It was a carefully planned operation, a testament to the power of collective action. This level of coordination suggested a network of communication, a shared understanding that transcended individual differences. In a world often characterized by isolation and fragmentation, this display of unity was a powerful reminder of the enduring strength of community. It spoke to the human capacity for empathy, for the shared desire to create a sense of place, a sense of belonging. The residents, in their collective act of defiance, were not just challenging the HOA, they were reaffirming their commitment to each other, to their shared values, to their collective identity. The unity displayed was not merely a reaction to a rule, it was a manifestation of the inherent human desire for connection, for the shared experience of standing together against a common adversary. The flamingo planting became a symbol of their shared identity, a visual representation of their collective spirit. It was a moment of solidarity, a testament to the power of community to overcome adversity, to challenge authority, and to reclaim a sense of ownership over their shared space. The third point, symbolic protest, reveals the ingenious choice of pink flamingos as the weapon of choice. These kitschy, plastic birds, once a ubiquitous symbol of suburban kitsch, were transformed into potent symbols of resistance. They were not merely lawn decorations. They were a visual language, a coded message to the HOA and the world beyond. The flamingos, in their gaudy, unapologetic presence, became a symbol of the residents' refusal to conform, their rejection of the sterile uniformity imposed upon them. They were a reminder that beauty is in the eye of the beholder, that individuality cannot be standardized. The choice of flamingos was a stroke of genius, a perfect blend of humor and defiance. They were simultaneously absurd and powerful, a testament to the human capacity for creative resistance. The flamingos were a visual metaphor for the residents' own colorful personalities, their refusal to be confined to the gray, monotonous world of HOA regulations. Each flamingo, in its vibrant pink hue, was a declaration of individuality, a reminder that the residents were not just numbers on a spreadsheet, but individuals with their own unique tastes and preferences. The flamingos were a symbol of the residents' reclaiming of their own aesthetic, their refusal to be dictated to by an unelected body. They were a reminder that beauty is not a matter of objective standards, but of personal expression. The flamingos, in their collective presence, became a powerful symbol of community resistance, a visual representation of the residents' united front against the HOA's overreach. They were a reminder that even the most seemingly insignificant objects can become potent symbols of defiance, that even the most mundane acts can become acts of rebellion. The fourth point, humor and satire, underscores the playful, almost mischievous nature of the protest. The pink flamingos, with their inherent absurdity, transformed a potentially tense and confrontational situation into a humorous and satirical spectacle. This wasn't a protest fueled by anger or aggression. It was a protest infused with wit and irony, a testament to the power of laughter to diffuse tension and challenge authority. The residents, in their collective act of humor, were not just making a statement, they were making a point. They were demonstrating that even in the face of adversity, humor can be a powerful tool for resistance. The flamingos, in their comical presence, became a symbol of the residents' refusal to take themselves too seriously, their ability to find joy and laughter in the midst of conflict. The humor was not merely a distraction, it was a deliberate strategy, a way to subvert the HOA's authority by making them the target of ridicule. The flamingos, in their gaudy, plastic glory, became a symbol of the residents' refusal to be intimidated, their ability to laugh in the face of adversity. The satire was not merely a joke, it was a pointed critique of the HOA's overreach, a way to expose the absurdity of their rules and regulations. The residents, in their collective act of humor, were not just making a point, they were making a difference. They were demonstrating that even in the face of bureaucratic oppression, the human spirit can find a way to laugh, to rebel, and to reclaim its own sense of joy. The fifth point, HOA overreach, highlights the underlying cause of the Flamingo uprising. The residents, in their collective act of defiance, were not just challenging a rule, they were challenging the very notion that the HOA had the right to dictate their personal choices. The ban on lawn decorations was seen as a blatant overstepping of boundaries, an intrusion into their private lives. The residents, in their collective act of resistance, were reclaiming their right to self-determination, their right to shape their own environments. The HOA, in its pursuit of aesthetic uniformity, had unwittingly crossed a line, had ventured into territory that the residents considered sacrosanct. The ban was not merely a matter of taste, it was a matter of principle, a matter of personal liberty. The residents, in their collective act of defiance, were sending a clear message that they would not tolerate such intrusions into their private lives. The HOA, in its pursuit of control, had inadvertently created a rebellion, had transformed a seemingly innocuous rule into a symbol of oppression. The residents, in their collective act of resistance, were asserting their right to live their lives according to their own values, their own preferences. The HOA, in its overzealous pursuit of order, had inadvertently created chaos, had transformed a peaceful neighborhood into a battleground for individual liberty. The residents, in their collective act of defiance, were reclaiming their right to self-expression, their right to infuse their own spaces with their own unique personalities. The HOA, in its overreach, had unwittingly ignited a firestorm, had transformed a seemingly simple rule into a symbol of bureaucratic tyranny. The sixth point, community dynamics, reveals the intricate web of relationships and power structures that exist within a homeowners association. It's a microcosm of society, a place where individuals with diverse backgrounds and perspectives must navigate shared spaces and common rules. The HOA, in its role as governing body, wields considerable influence over the lives of its residents, shaping everything from architectural standards to landscaping regulations. This power dynamic, however, is not always harmonious. The relationship between the HOA and its members can be fraught with tension, a constant negotiation between individual rights and collective responsibilities. The Flamingo incident serves as a stark reminder of the delicate balance that must be maintained within these communities. It highlights the potential for conflict when perceived overreach clashes with the desire for personal expression. The residents' response, a coordinated act of defiance, underscores the power of collective action to challenge established authority. It reveals the complex interplay between individual agency and community governance, the constant push and pull between conformity and individuality. The HOA, in its attempt to enforce a uniform aesthetic, inadvertently exposed the fault lines within the community, revealing the underlying tensions that had been simmering beneath the surface. The Flamingo protest became a catalyst for change, a moment of reckoning that forced the HOA to confront the limitations of its power and the importance of respecting individual rights. It demonstrated the importance of open communication and dialogue, the need for a more inclusive and democratic approach to community governance. The residents, in their collective act of defiance, were not just challenging a rule, they were reshaping the very fabric of their community, redefining the relationship between the HOA and its members. The Flamingo incident became a turning point, a moment of transformation that ultimately led to a more balanced and equitable community dynamic. It showed that even in the most tightly regulated environments, the human spirit of resistance can reshape established structures. The seventh point, visual impact, emphasizes the sheer spectacle of a neighborhood transformed by a sea of pink flamingos. It's an image that lingers in the mind, a testament to the power of visual symbolism. The flamingos, in their collective presence, created a striking and unforgettable tableau, a visual representation of the residents' unified defiance. The sheer number of flamingos, their vibrant pink hue, and their unexpected placement created a sense of surrealism, a whimsical disruption of the ordinary. The visual impact was not merely aesthetic, it was also symbolic. The flamingos, in their gaudy, plastic glory, became a visual metaphor for the residents' own colorful personalities, their refusal to be confined to the gray, monotonous world of HOA regulations. Each flamingo, in its vibrant pink hue, was a declaration of individuality, a reminder that the residents were not just numbers on a spreadsheet, but individuals with their own unique tastes and preferences. The visual impact was amplified by the contrast between the flamingos and the manicured lawns, the stark juxtaposition of kitsch and conformity. The flamingos, in their playful absurdity, became a visual commentary on the absurdity of the HOA's rules, a satirical critique of the pursuit of aesthetic uniformity. The visual impact was also a powerful tool for communication, a way to convey the residents' message to the HOA and the world beyond. The sheer spectacle of the Flamingo protest attracted attention, generating media coverage and sparking public debate. It transformed a local dispute into a national conversation, highlighting the broader issues of HOA overreach and individual rights. The visual impact of the flamingos was not just a fleeting moment. It became a lasting symbol of community resistance, a reminder of the power of visual protest to challenge authority and inspire change. It created a powerful and lasting memory and demonstrated the power of a unified visual statement. The eighth point, social commentary, delves into the broader implications of the Flamingo incident, exploring its relevance to issues of conformity, individual expression, and power dynamics within suburban communities. The Flamingo protest, in its essence, became a commentary on the tension between individual liberty and collective control, the ongoing struggle to balance personal expression with societal norms. It highlighted the potential for conformity to stifle creativity and individuality, the tendency for rules and regulations to become tools of oppression. The flamingos, in their gaudy, plastic glory, became a symbol of resistance against the forces of homogenization, a reminder that individuality cannot be standardized. The protest also served as a commentary on the power dynamics within suburban communities, the tendency for HOAs to become instruments of social control. It exposed the potential for bureaucratic overreach, the tendency for rules and regulations to become arbitrary and oppressive. The flamingos, in their collective presence, became a symbol of resistance against the encroachment of authority, a reminder that individuals have the right to shape their own environments. The social commentary extended beyond the immediate context of the HOA, offering a broader critique of consumer culture and the pursuit of material possessions. The flamingos, in their kitschy, mass-produced form, became a symbol of the superficiality of consumerism, a reminder that true value lies in personal expression and community connection. The Flamingo protest became a catalyst for social dialogue, sparking conversations about the role of HOAs, the importance of individual rights, and the need for a more balanced and equitable society. It showed that even seemingly trivial events can have profound social implications, that even the most mundane acts can become acts of social commentary. The ninth point, escalation of conflict, underscores the dramatic shift from a simple rule to a full-blown community rebellion. The Flamingo incident represents a classic example of how seemingly minor disputes can escalate into major conflicts when underlying tensions are not addressed. The ban on lawn decorations, intended to enforce aesthetic uniformity, inadvertently ignited a firestorm, transforming a peaceful neighborhood into a battleground for individual liberty. The residents' response, a coordinated act of defiance, represents a significant escalation of the conflict, a clear indication that the HOA had crossed a line. The Flamingo protest was not merely a reaction to a rule, it was a manifestation of the residents' pent-up frustration, a culmination of simmering resentment against perceived overreach. The escalation of conflict was not without its risks. It could have led to further polarization, deepening the divide between the HOA and its members. However, it also created an opportunity for dialogue and change, forcing the HOA to confront the limitations of its power and the importance of respecting individual rights. The Flamingo incident became a turning point, a moment of reckoning that ultimately led to a more balanced and equitable community dynamic. It showed that even in the most tightly regulated environments, the human spirit of resistance can reshape established structures. The escalation of conflict was not just a negative event, it was also a catalyst for positive change, a reminder that conflict can be a powerful force for transformation. The 10th point, viral potential, highlights the inherent newsworthiness and shareability of the Flamingo incident. The story of a neighborhood rebelling against an HOA with pink flamingos is inherently compelling, a blend of humor, defiance, and visual spectacle. It's the kind of story that resonates with a wide audience, tapping into universal themes of individual liberty, community resistance, and the absurdity of bureaucratic overreach. The Flamingo incident possessed all the elements of a viral sensation: a catchy headline, a visually striking image, and a relatable narrative. It was a story that could easily be shared on social media, generating widespread attention and sparking public debate. The viral potential of the Flamingo incident was not merely a matter of entertainment. It was also a powerful tool for advocacy. It allowed the residents to amplify their message, reaching a wider audience and generating support for their cause. The story of the Flamingo protest became a symbol of resistance against HOA overreach, inspiring other communities to challenge similar restrictions. The viral potential of the Flamingo incident also highlighted the power of social media to democratize information and empower individuals. It allowed ordinary citizens to bypass traditional media outlets, sharing their stories directly with the world. The Flamingo incident became a testament to the power of collective action in the digital age, a reminder that even small communities can make a big impact when they unite and share their stories. The story of the Flamingos became a modern-day fable, a tale of the little guy standing up to authority and the power of a unified community.